Namaste, Jai Bharat. We know that Bangladesh is burning. We also know that one of the most vigorous anti-Indian of their party, NCP I suppose, is shot dead. Then another firebrand girl against Bharat also was found hanging in a room, got killed, or must have hung herself. Now, who would have done it? They outrightly blame Bharat, not likely. Bharat killing them is not likely because it's waste. It's waste. We can deal with them other ways, not through this. And these people are not that great to be killed by unknown gunman if it is possible. Who must have done it? Now, elections are somewhere in February, etc. is announced. Now, who will want the election not to take place? Two people would not want the election. First of all, the radical Islamic group, Jamaat-e-Islami, do not want the election to take place because they are not very sure of winning the elections. They are not very sure because they haven't made their ground sufficient to get votes. Whatever they want to do, rigging, figging, in spite of everything, they are not very sure that they will win majority. So they will want to wait until they have got built up sufficient support among the people. Now, whatever these radicals do, the people's opinion must be different because Bangladeshi people have a history of suffering ever since Islamization and ever since the division of Bengal in 1905 into Hindu Bengal and Muslim Bengal. Some people at least would realize what they are losing or what they have already lost. Unlike Pakistan, nobody will realize what they have lost. But Bengalis, there will be good amount of people who will understand what they used to be and what they have become now. So, for Jamaat-e-Islami like radicals to get votes sufficient to acquire rule, authority, power in Bangladesh, they believe that they need more time. Even if they get more time, whether they get it or not remains to be seen. That's one agency who would want the election not to be held. And second person is an obvious man, this Muhammad Yunus himself. He wouldn't want to get up from the chair and go. Obviously, his intention is as well as possible to sit there. He just became something like a president or prime minister or whatever we are not very clear. He himself is not clear. The people of Bangladesh is not clear. Somebody calls him advisor, somebody calls him something else, but he is authority, and he draws his strength from America and the radical Islam, both. And because of this insurgency that's happening in Bangladesh, many people are getting killed. Loot, arson, the Bharat Virod, that's anti-India feeling, they create anti-India feeling as a pretext to continue their nefarious programs of looting fundamentally. You see that when the radicals, so-called students, I don't know what this kind of students they are, they have gone to Sheikh Hasina's residence and even carried her undergarments and demonstrated it through the street. And you have seen people carrying things from her house. That's simply looting and arson. And this now, they do the same thing. Any Hindu shop, of course, is obviously gone with the wind. Everything is picked up. And many Hindus are burned with entire family, by putting fire to the house and not allowing them to escape. Now, this kind of brutality is normal with radical Islam. Nothing surprising, nothing unusual. Nobody stops them, nothing stops them. When they are in majority, they will do anything. And see the way they kill people, slowly cut the throat. and they celebrate it of all things in the world. They do celebrate it, and then shouting, etc., etc. That's a kind of state of mind. I don't want to name it. And one Hindu, Das, he was killed in the most brutal way because he was beaten to death, and even after killing him, they kept beating his dead body, kicking his face, deformed, his entire body is deformed, and then dragged him to somewhere and put petrol and burned it, these kind of things. To that extent, these people are non-human. And suddenly, the US embassy exposes themselves. They suddenly tweets in favor of the killed radical leader, anti-Indian, who was shot dead, and in favor of him, etc., etc. That kind of rhetoric US embassy tweets, that demonstrates where America stands, what their intentions are. I don't want to speak anything more. Things are obvious. Understand. Think for yourself. And of course, ascertain for yourselves. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.